On this one, I'm not going to do quite everything. I got to leave something for you guys. So this one actually should be familiar to you. It says the following graph shows aggregate demand, short-run aggregate supply, and the long-run aggregate supply curve for a hypothetical economy. Initially, the expected price level equals the actual price level, and the economy experiences long-run equilibrium at a natural rate of output, or sorry, level of output of 120. There we go. There's 120. There's the current price level, 120, and it is expected to stay at 120. Suppose a war in the world's main oil-producing regions sharply reduces the world's oil supply, causing oil prices to rise and increase the cost of producing goods and services. Okay, so the costs of production go up. A hugely important input has gone up in price. Costs go up. So short run aggregate supply curve shifts up or to the left. They're the same thing, same shift. Keep that in mind. So use the graph to answer the questions about the short run and long run effects of the increases in the production costs that follow. Okay. For simplicity, ignore any impact of the higher oil prices on natural level output. All right, here we go. We have our equilibrium there. Now we have an equilibrium up here. We have an increased price level, and the percent change between 120 and 125 is the rate of inflation, the rate of change between those two numbers. And we see our output has fallen below the natural level, which means the unemployment rate has gone up above the natural rate of unemployment. Okay. The short run economic outcome resulting from the increase in production costs is known as stagflation. Okay. Something we didn't know could exist until the 1970s. It certainly wasn't something the Keynesian theories allowed for. So we learned something there. Suppose now the government decides not to take any action. They're not going to do anything in response to the short run impact of the higher oil prices. Well, let me get my little pen going. Well, if government got involved, really all they can do is shift the aggregate demand curve out to the right. Whoops. I've got a little button on this pen. I keep accidentally hitting it. So they can do that, shift that out by increasing government spending. Okay, that results in more inflation. We've got the new equilibrium there, but we're back here. But that can cause an inflationary spiral in itself. So that's not necessarily the best thing to do. But this is really difficult policy-wise because you're kind of stuck on this. This is a tough one because whatever you do makes it worse in one way or another, at least for a while. So the other thing is not to take any action. Okay, if they don't take any action at all, well, you still are going to have some inflationary expectations, and you may have this thing shifting back further still as workers want to be compensated for the higher cost of living. But at some point, see here, now we're way above the price level keeps going, keep having inflation. But look what happens here. We've got output falling. We're in a severe recession here, and we've got unemployment above the natural level of unemployment, natural rate of unemployment. So eventually there's going to be enough idle resources. There's going to be idle capacity in factories from people being laid off. There's going to be pressure for wages and prices to start coming down. And so this short run curve is going to start shifting gradually back down over time. Now, this could take a long time. That was John Maynard Keynes's insight as far as a downward shift in the short run aggregate supply curve. That was a result of a collapse of aggregate demand, but still one of the options was to do nothing and let that short run aggregate supply curve shift down. And that could have taken a very long time because wages don't naturally come down. That those expectations take a while to formulate and to adjust downward. So that's a tough one. But anyway, yeah. So in basically we end up back where we started in the long run.